Well, hey there, and welcome to this edition of BEP Talks, where amazing people from all around the world, all industries, all professions, and at all ages and stages of life and career, so generously come to share their beliefs, their experiences, and their passions. BEP, that's what BEP Talks is all about. I believe everybody has a story. They're all worth sharing. They're all worth hearing. We have never had an exception to our rule of the wonderful guests that we welcome. So I want you to join me in welcoming today's very special guest, Kiran Ryan Young. Welcome, Kiran. There you are. Welcome,
You're right.
welcome.
Thank you
And
very
you
much.
you are coming to us all the way from Portugal,
Yes, I am.
a place I was in years ago, many, many years ago, had such a wonderful time there, a very beautiful, beautiful country. Just to ask you, where did you move from and why did you choose Portugal as your destination?
I moved from Brooklyn, New York. As far as why I chose Portugal as a destination, Portugal actually chose me. I've always wanted to live abroad. I, for some reason, just always thought it was going to be France. And a little over a year before I actually moved, um, Portugal popped into my head. And I was like, okay, yes. I came to visit because I thought I should at least visit before I decide I'm going to actually move here. And the first full day I was here, I was walking with a friend through a park. And that's when Portugal basically took my heart and said,
Oh,
you're home.
oh, how beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I have not regretted it since. It's
How
just,
lovely.
I'm loving it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it wasn't about the pork, it wasn't about the wine. They do also have beautiful beaches. I've been there. So I was not expecting you to say that you moved from Brooklyn, New York. I am a native New Yorker. Um, I didn't think anybody ever left Brooklyn.
It is not easy. I have
It's
been
not
trying. It is
easy.
not easy.
It's not easy to leave Brooklyn. So, welcome to BEP Talks, and I thank you so much for joining us. I am very excited about this conversation, which is why I wanted to get right into it. And I see behind you, as we can all see, you're coming to us from the dreamer's den. I love the whole concept. I don't understand your perspective of it yet. So, I'm going to ask you, what is, in your context, what is a dream?
Ooh. A dream is a blueprint for life.
Oh,
We talk a lot about chasing dreams, but really dreams are meant to be lived.
mm.
And that's been my experience. It has not let me down. Um, Being here in Portugal is a dream. But what I've discovered is that dreams also ask of us to transform
Hmm.
because there's the person that dreams the dream is not necessarily the person that is living the dream.
Oh, that I understand. That I understand. I want to mention also that you are the author of Wake Up and Dream.
Wake up, it's time to dream.
It's
Yes.
time to dream, but to wake up. Obviously, we're all very familiar with wishing people sweet dreams at night when they retire to take their rest. And is it just my belief, or do most people believe that a dream is something of a fantasy? A dream is something of a fuzzy vision. A dream is something that you enjoy in the moment and you wake up and smack right back into reality.
There are those kind of dreams. Yes. But one of the things I'm a girl dad. Disney princesses were a big thing when my daughter was growing up, and Cinderella, who had a dream, and every day she looked out of her window, she saw that castle, she knew that's where she wanted and was supposed to be. But she did her normal stuff, and at the end of the story, she got that castle.
Hmm. So is conscious dreaming a way of manifesting?
Conscious dreaming, a way of manifesting. Yes. But like I said initially, it's also a transformation. So wanting it, seeing it, keeping the vision alive, you also have to step into it. So, even using Cinderella, fairy godmother comes along, gives her a new dress. She changes her identity, becomes no longer the cleaning girl, mistreated stepdaughter. She shows into that ball as a person that she really is. Because if you remember the full story, before the stepmother arrives,
Mhm.
Cinderella is living in that world.
Yes, yes.
Um, so she gets to go back into that ball, into that world, and reclaim her dream that has always been there. And that's one of the things that I also believe is that that dream is probably something you had as a child that
Mm.
got buried by people saying, oh no, that's unrealistic. Oh, it's too big.
Mhm.
Oh, you can't do that.
Mhm.
Oh, that's not for us. And when you reconnect to it and decide to actually step into it and live it, it transforms your life. It transforms you, back to who you initially were, and life becomes filled with ease.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, have we stopped dreaming? Have we stopped
Yes, it's
have we
not
stopped
easy.
owning? No, I'm just in my own life. Have we stopped claiming that power, so to speak, of visualizing it and bringing it into reality?
Yes. And
Why?
that's why I wrote the book.
That's why you wrote the book. Right.
It's
So
like,
what are
wake
we
up.
missing? Are we just listen, we're living in a noisy, chaotic world right now. And I guess to some degree we always are. Sometimes it feels closer to home, closer to heart than at other times. We always, it seems, correct me when I'm wrong or help me to see it from a different tilt of the head, as I say, that we're being slapped into reality all the time, that there are so many dream stealers out there. What can we do? What should we do? What is possible to do to get back into the frame of mind, kind of like that anything is possible? Dare to dream it. Dare to dream it.
Yes.
What do we have to do?
First thing is give yourself permission to dream,
Oh, okay.
just to be gentle with yourself and say it's okay. Um, Really, at this point, the entrance point into reconnecting to that dream is that there's something that happens. For me, it was my daughter going off to college.
Oh,
It's like from the time because she was my first dream manifested.
oh, beautiful.
I was a gay man coming of age during the AIDS crisis. I wanted to be a parent.
Mm,
How the heck is that going to happen? Couldn't adopt. There was just no way. Um, but eventually that happened. A way
beautiful.
appeared. And so I spent all of that was my dream. I wanted to be a parent. I lived that life. PTA, I was at school. I did the thing. When she was off to college, it was like, okay, now what?
Mm,
What do I do now? And in those quiet moments, there was that little knock that came. It's like that little dream whispering again. It's like, remember, you wanted to move abroad. You wanted to live somewhere else. You wanted to have that experience, be in different cultures. And I listened to it this time. And I said, okay, that's the next thing. I believe that our dreams don't go away. They stay there. And until we're ready, until we accept it, until we give ourselves permission to hear them, then we give ourselves permission to become it. And that's where the work happens, right? That's where the fear starts to, when you say yes to a dream, that's when the fears, that's when the challenges come in,
Sure.
because that's the work, that's the transformation, that's the grief of saying goodbye to something that no longer serves you for something that you know is going to completely change your life.
So why do we hold on to the old? Is it that the familiarity of it, the
Yeah.
comfort of it, at least we know it?
It's the
Why do we
security, it's the comfort, it's I know what this is, I'm going to stay here. I know what this I know. I've been here.
mm,
It served
mm,
me well. I'm I'm content. I can think about that dream, but this is just so much easier.
mm. You mentioned something, you said it's work. It's not just seeing it and its reality, that it's work. What is that process, Karan?
That process is what I call the messy middle.
Oh, the
That's where nothing makes sense. You know where you were, but you're not there anymore because you've taken three, four, 5 steps, but you're not quite where you're going to end up yet either.
mm,
It is a mess. If you think about just rebuilding your life after something happens, it can get messy. People, their moments, you have to make a choice that's different than the
hmm.
choice you made before.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
people that you have to say, thank you, but this isn't working. And there's the unknowing,
Hmm.
there's the unknowing of what you're moving into, but you know
Hmm.
where you moved from. Should I
Hmm.
just go back? No, I don't like where I went. I like where I'm going. And it's messy.
Mm.
But
There's
that's
this,
like the
yeah.
best part.
Well, I guess when it gets messy, isn't that an indication that something is happening, that there's a path forward, that there's growth
Yes.
and development actually happening?
Yes. That doesn't make it easier though.
No, no, but it's an indication that I've
You're,
started, I'm in it. There's a
yes.
statement, familiarity breeds contempt. And I think we're all familiar with that statement. And it's just that it's easier to stay stuck than to go out on that limb and do that work and go through that confusing state of I'm stepping away from what I've decided I'm really not wanting anymore to something that I've declared I do want.
Mhm.
That middle ground, as you say, the journey, not the destination, but the journey itself. That's where the
Yes.
work is. That's where the work is. I want to ask you something. Um, the law of attraction, which I mean, it's still very much out there, but oh, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years or so ago, that's all you heard, the law of attraction, the law of attraction, the law of attraction. Did that become confusing? Do you think that you just had to, if you didn't really understand what it was, that you just had to think about it long enough and hard enough and it would happen, as opposed to there's work that has to be done?
It's a distraction
Yeah.
in a good way. So it distracts you from the work, which happens anyway if you're thinking that way. So if you're using the law of attraction as a means for a manifestation or change or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you're focusing on, then you're not focusing on the hard parts. You're not focusing on the work. You're not focusing on the things that change. You're
Right,
just focusing completely on the end result.
right, right. Right. So I think we just named it the law of distraction. And I understand what you're saying now because I mentioned, I think it was misunderstood that people thought you just had to close your eyes and envision and, poof, there it
Yeah,
could be. But, and you also said, you mentioned earlier, which is always something that I'm keenly aware of. You said choice, that some things happen that distract us from our dreams, that prevent us from continuing the work to reach the dreams, and maybe we can go back to it. I mean, that's just part of the four-letter word called life, that it happens. But if you want it badly enough, if it means that much to you, I imagine you will always reconnect to it and that you can always continue the work.
yeah. It doesn't go away, and you don't have to choose it. It's there for a reason. If you
Well,
can choose it, I would
well,
highly
yeah,
recommend it.
yeah.
But it doesn't go away. It's always yours, and you
Mm,
can come back to it and use it however you want. If you just want to think about it and that makes you feel great in that moment, great. If you choose to actually do something with it,
mm, mm.
then just be prepared. There's work.
There's work. So, do you have a program? Do you have a template? Do you have a workshop? Pardon me, is there a path that people can follow?
Is there a path that people can follow?
Mm.
Yes. And I think, is there a path that I provide for people to follow? Is that what the question is?
And this path is going to be
Yes.
different for everybody where you are, where you want to go. But philosophically, theoretically, is there a program, X steps that you have to do? You have to write it down. You have to visualize it. You have to commit to it. What is the path for people to step away from that comfort zone and say, the dream is big enough to me and important enough to me that I'm willing to do the work, like moving from Brooklyn to Portugal.
Right. So the first thing is it's giving themselves permission
Permission.
to hear
Yeah.
the dream, to let the
Mm-hmm.
dream speak to them,
Mm-hmm.
then choosing, like yes, saying yes to the dream. And at the time of saying yes is the time to start living. So after yes, it's then choosing to live the dream, not just chase it. And living it is a complete giving over to the dream.
So
Whatever the dream
right,
needs, I
right.
will.
So is that to when we're talking about, affirmations, say them as if it's already real, that it's not something down the
Mhm.
road. Say it in a present tense way as if you are already there. Is that what I'm hearing a little bit of?
A little bit. It's not so much saying, it's doing.
Well, yeah, yeah, being in
And
it. Mm,
it's being, yes.
mm,
And, like with me and my move to Portugal, sitting in my house in Brooklyn, there were times that I had to choose to just stay in Brooklyn, in in my being. And there were times that I would choose to already being in Portugal.
mm,
Um, and that was one of those moments where, when I say it's messy, because
yeah.
being in Portugal, in my being in my dream, there were some conflicts with where I was physically, right? Physically being in Brooklyn, that it's like, well, this isn't going to work. So I just need to stay here in Brooklyn. Um, but that's where the mess happens. And that's part of the whole thing, right? So choosing choosing the dream, saying yes, being in the dream, living the dream, and not then waiting for something to happen because it's not, as you said earlier, it's not about the destination. The dream
Mm-hmm.
is not about the destination. The dream is about the path. The dream is about what you learn along the way that's going to transform you when you get here
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
into something new.
Mm-hmm. I imagine that as you are on that path journey, that highway from where you are going to what not where you're going to realize your dream, that there are exit ramps. You can make new choices. You can give your permission, you can give yourself permission to alter the dream or to edit it, and new possibilities can present themselves, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Dreams never fail.
Ah, dreams never fail.
If you start to live in the dream and then something changes and you go to a different dream, you needed that first one to get to the second.
Right, 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 right. I'm thinking of like in relationships. Okay, let's talk about it in marriage as an example. You make a commitment, you're marrying your dream partner. Doesn't always work out. Um, you can edit, you can adjust, you can dream anew.
Mhm.
And that's fun. And I guess, in business, we always talk about goal setting. Do you ever know? Okay, so you're physically living in Portugal, which was your dream. I want to say this the right way. And I'm so happy for you that you were able to achieve that dream and that you did the work, that you packed up and moved to the other side of the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, but it's not done yet.
Oh, it's still not done. Oh, it's always a work in
Well,
progress. Oh, okay.
because yes, I'm here, and I'm sorry, but I'm here. But once I'm here, there's work.
Now
I
what?
don't speak the language. I
Mm-hmm.
go into a grocery store. I don't know what products are. I mean, I was on my chat GPT for the full first weekend that was here, scanning everything in the store saying, what is this?
What
Is
is
this
this?
window cleaner? Is it I knew, I'm much better at it now, but then
Sure.
nothing. It was a whole new experience. So yes, I got here, but even getting here now becomes, okay, how do I use the transportation? What do I need to get a card so I can get it? Just there's more.
That's true. That's true. So, what I'm getting from that, and I love this, life itself is always a work in progress.
Yeah. And the
And
dream is the container of the work, if that
dream is the container of the
helps.
work. Expand on that, if you will. The dream is the
So if
container of
I'm,
work. Oh, I thought
looking
I
at
am
my,
so apologize.
no problem. But looking at my original dream, which was to move abroad,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was going to be France. So I started that process, but somewhere along the line, it moved to Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's the dream of living abroad, going in one direction, now in a new direction. Great. I do the make the move
Mm-hmm.
and then get here and realize, yes, I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not done.
No,
Yes, I'm
no.
living the dream. And to live it completely, well, I have to learn the language. I have to know how to get around. I have to have the right clothes because what works in Brooklyn is not the same thing for Portugal, right? I
Brooklyn,
have
yeah,
to change my schedule. So there's all these things. And if I'm still working back in the US, my days start later,
sure.
my 2 o'clock is your 9 o'clock.
Right.
And so it just, in order to live in the dream, there's still more.
Mm-hmm.
There's always still more.
But I like
Never
that.
done it.
No, I like that, that it is always so in business, we talk about adjusting your goals, that you want to build a business. So, okay, so you get to, the first $100,000, then you get to multiple six figures, then you get to a seven figure, and then you can keep going on. But that you have to, or liken it to sports, to football. You only have to do 10 yards at a time, and you have four chances to get 10 yards. And then now you have another goal until you get to the goal of actually, scoring the touchdown, so to speak. So, you know what? It really, it's, so why are we not giving ourselves that permission? What prevents us? Is it fear of failure? Fear of judgment? There are a lot of dream stealers out there. And for me, for my dreams, I only gave myself permission. I didn't ask anybody else for permission.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's the key. I just answered my own question. You don't need permission from anybody else. Nice to have their blessing, nice to have their support, but you don't need anybody else's permission.
Correct. What's nice once you've given yourself permission is to have somebody else say, yes, I
Sure.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
initially,
did you move to Portugal by yourself?
I moved by myself.
Wow, you're brave. So, but your dream, that tells me how strong your dream was, how vivid it was, how important it was that you're now living your dream.
Yeah.
You're
And
awesome.
it goes back to how important it was for me to get back to myself.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so like all of those layers, protection and security that had to be added on just to survive. It's like, no, I don't want that anymore. I want to be back to myself.
Right. Right. Something else, when you were talking about your daughter, at the beginning, I was imagining, a little girl, a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old girl in her, Disney princess dresses. And then you said she's off to college. So it puts me in a whole different time zone. What I experience hear a lot from people through my business, not just BEP Talks, but through other things that I do, is that when people, many people, particularly women, I'm going to say it, particularly women who I hope they felt that they lived their dream by raising their children, and now the children are off, and they're now in a what's next for me moment. Where do I go from now? So there's a lot of women who get to that age and that stage of life where it's been all about what they've done for other people
Mhm.
in a relationship, in a marriage, in a business perhaps, but in motherhood, the best job in the world. Now what? What do I do?
Yeah.
It's never too late to dream.
Never.
And you said earlier in our conversation, go back and be willing, I'm guessing, to explore what you haven't remembered when you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years of age.
Mhm.
Get back in touch with yourself
Yes.
and say, what was I thinking then? Who was in my life? What was I being influenced by? What what was my Cinderella castle all about?
Yep.
Wow. You know what? One of my hopes, one of my dreams years ago, Bep is a nickname that my Scottish grandmother gave me. Beppy. My name is Beth, but she gave me the nickname Beppy, and it kind of stuck and it disappeared for a little while, but people still call me Bep or Beppy. And I was like, wow, I know what it means to me. It means, a loving nickname that my grandmother gave me. But I said, but I want it to stand for something, BEP, beliefs, experiences, and passions. And for me to bring to life somebody else's beliefs, experiences, and passions. So this, BEP Talks,
Yep. The
I'm
product
just
of a
thinking,
dream.
it is the product of a dream. It is the product of a dream. Well, I'm feeling really good right now. So now I have to now dream bigger, dream more, keep dreaming, keep
Yes.
um and you know what? I'm one of those people who, you go through the course, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a job, you do all that. And then I became very entrepreneurial. And a lot of my dear, dear friends who I'm still so close with, including my own siblings, stayed the course more of the non-entrepreneurial thing. And a lot of people, they didn't judge me. A lot of them gave me a lot of credit for maybe having more guts than brains sometimes because I said I didn't want to live with regret. I was willing to, I don't want to say chase a dream, but to make the dream real, to live it, as you say. And if it didn't work out, well, then you know what? You just close your eyes, open them up again, and dream anew.
Love that. Yes.
And that's okay. And I always gave myself permission to do it. Didn't ask for anybody's permission, would love their blessing, but also did not require that. It's a very personal thing. It's a very,
Mhm.
so how long are you in Portugal right now? How
As
long
long
have you
as I
been?
want. Oh,
No, but
I've
how
been
long,
here
as of now, how long have you been there?
5 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you needed to speak with a native New Yorker. I get it. You needed to reconnect with a native New Yorker who understands Brooklyn, who understands, wow, that's wonderful. So what are you doing? Is this part of, you wrote the book, what are you doing? Is this all part of your life's work now, is to help other people find their permission to dream and then help them to figure out how to do the work?
Yes, that is it. That's what Dreamer's Den is about. It's a place, for people just to come, simply to come and speak their dream out loud. It's my way of helping them find permission. Um, and for some people, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, yeah. You said something very powerful right there, and I've said it so often, and I've interviewed a lot of people on BEP Talks who were a little hesitant to do it. I helped them promote a book or actually hear their own voice, perhaps for the first time, and realize you could do it. That for people who want to do public speaking, as an example, um, yeah, it's easier. I say, well, the sky didn't fall, the earth didn't swallow you up. How bad could it have been? We're both still here. Neither one of us shed blood, and you did it. And my point being that sometimes you just do have to hear yourself say it out loud and realize, wow, I just owned it. I put it out to the universe. Now I own it. I want to show you something that sits on my desk. It says, little girls with big dreams become women with vision.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And that scares some people.
Yeah.
And that's why there's dreaming that doesn't happen.
Mm, that's sad.
That's
That's
very
sad.
sad. But as you said, there are some dream killers out there
There
because
are, yeah.
they're afraid of what you're going to create out of your dream.
And they don't want to be responsible for encouraging you to do something that might not work out exactly the way you want it to work out.
Correct.
They don't want to be responsible for that. And years ago, we used to say people used to set friends up on blind dates. And, there were wonderful matches made, and people could be married for decades. And then the relationship stopped working. And suddenly, well, it's all your fault. You introduced me, 30 years ago.
Mhm.
It's all your fault. So now we do it much more at an arm's length with technology. So there's not that sense of the responsibility of encouragement. It's kind of sad. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And
So,
you kind of think of parents with young kids who mean well
sure,
when it's like, okay, yes, yes, you like doing this, but that's not going to pay your bills when you're older, so find something else. They
this
don't
needs to
mean any
be.
harm by it.
No, it's a dose of reality. And
Yes.
I think generationally from the greatest generation and now their children, their grandchildren, and now that next generation is happening, I think that's leveling out a little bit.
Yes.
It's not being that work ethic, that sense of pride in what you did, the responsibility of just heard yesterday, less men are working now because they just think, well, why do I have to? Men never thought that way. It was because it was your responsibility as
Mhm.
the man to provide. And now they're not. They're like, well, why do I have to be the only one? And so more women are providing. It's just, I guess that's the journey for mankind, I guess. The evolution, everything is changing. I love
Yeah.
this conversation and it encourages me to keep dreaming. And I am a dreamer, but I am a realist as well. How do people get in touch with you? How do people join you in the Dreamer's Den?
I would say the best way is through LinkedIn. Um, or you can email me at Kiran at
A
amilliondreamers.com.
Million Dreamers. Kiran, Kiran at uh
A
a
million.
million, not one, a milliondreamers.com. Well, that couldn't be easier. I have so enjoyed this conversation, and because it is a work in progress, I know you and I could just keep talking, and perhaps we will meet again. But I just want to say congratulations to you, and dreams really do come true. There's another song about that. Dreams really do come true. You got to put the work in, like anything else.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to bring some news into you're from Brooklyn. Um, are you a basketball fan?
Not really.
No, okay, because I say the New York Nets play in Brooklyn,
Mhm.
but the New York Knicks, who play at Madison Square Garden, are in the NBA championships right now, and they won game one last night. So for the Knicks and for Knick fans, dreams really do come true. It can happen to you. Dreams really do come true. Just be willing to do the work. And everybody dream big, dream big. And I want to say to all of our listeners, as always, thank you. And if it has been your dream to come and share your story, because we all have a story, they are all worth hearing, they're all worth sharing. And it is a very empowering opportunity for you to be a guest on BEP Talks and to share just an off the cuff conversation. Karan and I literally met this morning. We had no previous conversation. And to hear your own voice. And for some, that alone is a dream. And to realize that you can be seen, you can be heard, you can become visible in what sometimes can easily make you feel we have all become invisible, as I said, in this very noisy and chaotic world. And if each one of us takes one step forward for ourselves, that builds momentum for everybody. And the dreamers through history, I think Karan will dream, are the ones who have made the biggest progress and who have moved mankind along. And honor your dreams, respect your dreams, and live your dream. That is Quran's message to all of us today. Don't chase it, live it. Make it your reality. And come on to BEP Talks and share your dream, your beliefs, your experiences, and your passions. And as we always say, may the best always be yet to come. And maybe that is the realization of your dream. Go, make it happen. Karan, thank you so much for being my guest today. I have so enjoyed this conversation. I wish you a lifetime of happiness and joy and dreams fulfilled, new dreams created as you enjoy life where you dreamed you would be. You've taken that first huge step, and I hope that it continues to bless you and your family. Thank you so much for being my guest today on BEP Talks.
Thank you.
And until we talk again, everybody, bye for now.